Welcome to our continuing series on Pirkei Avot. We're on the 4th chapter, about to start Mishna 19, and we dedicate this episode respectfully in memory of Levy ben Moshe Esther and Elisheva bat Levy, and also in memory of Tzivia bat Moshe Esther. And I'm going to hand you over to Michael.
Thank you very much, Rav Mashiach. So this Mishnah, which is Mishnah number 19 of chapter 4, we are introduced to the learnings of Rabbi Yanai. And who was he? We don't have too much known about him. There were several sages named Yanai, but almost all were Amoraim, or sages of the Gemara, who would not be mentioned in Mishnah. Therefore, the sage of this Mishnah, of the 4th parak, is quite probably the father of Rabbi Dostai.
Rabbi Dostai and Rabbi Elazar ben Yanai.
Okay, whose teachings are given in Mishnah 10 of the 3rd parak. The Talmud Yerushalmi tells that a genealogical record was found in Yerushalayim, in which it was written that Rabbi Yanai was descended from Eli, who was the Kohen Gadol who held office when Shemuel the prophet was born. There is good reason to believe that this refers to our Tana. Apart from this, no more seems known of him.
Well, it says here, except for this this Mishnah here, he's never quoted in the other Shisha Sidrei Mishnah. And that's it.
Okay.
Not much.
So, what do he say? Rabbi Yanai Omer. Rabbi Yanai said, "Ein b'yodeinu lo meshalvat harishaim." It is not within our ability to understand or explain the tranquil well-being of the wicked. V'af lo misorei hatzadikim, or the afflictions of the righteous. So this is a very important, very short Mishnah, but extreme depth to this. The philosophers call this theodicy, which is one of the most difficult and perplexing problems which we can, as thinkers and reflective minds, can struggle with. If there is a just and kind God, how can evil and injustice flourish while causes of virtue and charity struggle to survive? Why do wicked people prosper and virtuous people suffer? So let us look at this and look at it from all angles. So Rabbi Yanai is telling us, don't even try to understand, don't even try to fathom this concept. This is beyond our ken, our knowledge, our grasp, our intellectual grasp. Why? Is that Hashem is like life and the whole world and everybody is a complex tapestry that Hashem has woven, and only He knows the how it's combined, how the knots fit next to each other, and how they're supposed to look, and how this is supposed to be. And we, unfortunately, don't have the intellectual capability to grasp Hashem's intentions.
It's like I should mention that Michael and myself used to be in the carpet business, so Michael will be able to relate to this. If you look at a carpet, or indeed, probably if you look at a needle point from the back, all you see is like these threads sticking out. It looks horrible from the back. All you've got to do is flip it over, look from the other side, you see the entire tapestry in its entirety. You can see the beautiful picture image it's woven.
Yeah, what a fantastic example that is. Yeah, really good.
So yeah, that's it. It's a known example. But that's what we're like in this world. All we see is a back. How can you make any type of reasoned conclusion?
There are many factors that Hashem takes into account before determining what the life of a person who's perhaps seemingly bad, for him to prosper, or for the exceedingly good to suffer. There's many explanations for this, but one thing Rabbi Yanai is stressing is don't kill yourself over this problem. because you'll find out one day, please God, one day, if you find yourself in front of Hashem, Olam Haba, things will become much clearer. The mystic, the Netziv, finds this idea confirmed in the Talmud in an intriguing statement of Rabbi Aha ben Chanina. And I quote, "Quite unlike this world is the world to come. In this world we say over good news the bracha hatov of Hametiv, who is good and does good. And at bad news we say Baruch Dayan Emet, blessed be Hashem, the true judge." Apparently in the world to come, the first blessing, hatov Hametiv, will be used always.
Wow.
This we learn in Gemara Pesachim 50a. So in this earthbound world, after all the events have passed, when you see things in the proper perspective from a distance against the entire background of all these interwoven, like you say, circumstances, we can see how Hashem, in his knowledge and his perfect understanding, has arranged things. All we can do is keep faith in Hashem and accept that whatever must happen will happen, and that it is just and fair, because he is the perfect judge of absolute truth. So all these intricate relationships and hidden factors will be seen once we're perhaps in a different place, maybe Olam Haba. Then it will be realized how all is for the best in Hashem's realm, and everything will be acknowledged that He is Hatov v'Hametiv. And there's another explanation that we sometimes hear. I've heard it in the Ramchal has quoted it in his, I think it's Darchei Hashem, but it's also in the Gemara. Hashem, when exacting with the righteous people, collects payment from them in this world for the few bad things they have done, so that He can provide an abundance of tranquility and grant them a good reward in the Olam Haba. And to the wicked He grants abundant tranquility and reward in this world for the little deeds that they have done, so that He may exact retribution from them in the world to come. So there's also another concept where the merit of the father. Some people hold that if your father or ancestors were righteous people, that their children benefit from their hard toil in their lives. And so when you see someone who is not a good person, who is not religious, they prosper. It could be because of a debt that's owed to them from something that they earned, that the father earned for their children in an earlier life. But then you could also say the opposite. The Talmud says that a child cannot be punished for parents' crimes, so perhaps it works both ways. But then also we have to think of, in this case, who is bad and who is good. Hashem may value this. We've dealt with this before in previous Mishnas. I think in the first parak. In fact, I think it's in the first parak. We learn about the idea of what is the matan schar for positive mitzvahs. So as we don't understand that, as there's no quantification, Hashem may see not a wicked person, but someone who's not a good person, someone who you think to yourself, he's not really worthy of everything that he's bestowed on in life. He may have acted in an extremely heroic way at one point in his life, and for that one deed, he is being rewarded by Hashem. We don't see perhaps these incidents that occur, and also even with sometimes sometimes a person who's observant may commit sins in secret, and he's caused to suffer for that. So sometimes appearances, Hashem knows exactly what the truth is, so He's able to judge what are the merits and what are the demerits. And also we must think about How happy are these people? Sometimes you see a lot of people who prosper economically. They're wealthy individuals, and really, perhaps in the beginning of their success, in the beginning of their accumulation of wealth, they are happy and they're spending money and they're enjoying the trappings of wealth. But it's an addiction to grab as much wealth as possible, and so they don't actually enjoy their newfound wealth, and they end up having like an addictive, like an itch that they cannot scratch, and that must be almost like torture. That they are never happy with what they have, and you think that they're sitting there enjoying their money. Actually, they're just killing themselves internally over how I'm going to amass more material things. So sometimes you've got to look at things and say, you know what? Are they really happy? Or is this like almost like a curse to be constantly chasing something that you can never catch up to?
He says, Marbe Nechasim, Marbe Da'agot. You have more, Marbe Nechasim, more possessions, the more worries you have. And people think that poverty is a test, which it is. It is. Being poor is a big test, because people are poor may often complain to Hashem, why have you made me poor? I need a parasah and have things. But also, ashirut, somebody who's wealthy is also a test, because how are you going to dispense your money?
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
There's one person in the Chumash who actually had both those tests in his lifetime, and that was Yosef HaTzadik. Because he came, when he first came to Egypt, he was a nothing, he was a servant. He was very poor. But then he when he became the viceroy of Egypt, he became extremely rich. Yeah. So he had both tests in his lifetime. And Baruch Hashem, he passed both of those with flying colours. But don't think that a person is comfortable and he has all the trappings of, like you said, of being wealthy, and that's just the end of it. It's a test. It carries with it many nisyonot. So thank you very much, Michael, for that. Beautiful understanding of Rabbi Yanai's Mishnah. Next time we will get together, we'll talk about Rav Masa ben Charash, who himself was a Bal Yisurim. He also suffered certain things in his lifetime. And until then, we wish you a wonderful and blessed week.